Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome. It is Friday, April 28th, 2023. My name is Jeremy, and this is my first cup. Who is here? I want to say good morning to Nathan, Frank, Gad, Dennis, and Jenny. Welcome. Glad you're here. For the rest of you, as you come in, well, I suppose you may not be hearing this, but if you are, I want to see your name pop up in the chat. If you're watching or listening later, never feel bad about adding comments to the feed. There are people who kind of just watch. They lurk. If you want to borrow an old internet term, they're lurkers. I'm just glad you're here. I'm honored to spend a little bit of time with you. Jenny says, happy all-in weekend Friday. I'm in listen-only mode on the road. I'll be packing and on the road myself. 2 hours, within 2 hours of doing this, I guess, out 2.5 of the close of the show. Lots to do. First off, I want to shout out Carl for putting this mug together. So we had a Friday on the 13th, and I said, what about a Friday the 13th mug? And he put together a design, and I said, I like it, but what about something more like Friday the 13th, Jason? And this is what he came up with, and I love it. It says Friday the 13th. It's got the Jason mask on the front. It's got the First Cup logo, but just with a bloody handprint. I'm not a horror guy or anything, but this is a super fun mug, and there are, I think, 3 different versions of it. The design's the same at whistlekick.com, so you can check that out. Frank says, I thought I would branch out today and try a new topic for the jokes. I thought I would branch out and try a new topic for the jokes today. I hope these don't stump you all. Perhaps some foreshadowing, as he often does. Well, I hope your Thursday was wonderful. Gad seems like he's picking up something that Frank's laying down. Had a great Thursday. Had some wonderful calls with some wonderful clients. Did some good work. Got some stuff checked off my list. Added stuff to my list, but stuff that I'm going to enjoy doing. Had an awesome workout last night at CrossFit. Had a great team meeting last night, core team meeting. And if you follow me at all on social media, or you caught it in the Whistlekick stories on Instagram, rolled out a martial arts challenge I've been thinking about for probably almost a month. Car kick challenge. Now, if you want to know what that is, you can go look it up, but here's the gist. Put a coffee cup on top of my car and I kicked it off. And you might think, that's not that hard. Well, then I want to see you do it. And I hope to see you do it. It doesn't have to be a car that's, nearly as tall as you, as this one is for me. The biggest challenge with it is that you have to avoid hitting the car, right? Like you can't. Yeah, you'll see. Go check out the video. There are a few people that I think are going to do it. I hope, I've been looking to do something like this that would go somewhere. We've done plenty of challenges. Remember the water bottle challenge, kicking it off the bag and then kick the bottle? That was cool. I want to see stuff like this. I love when martial artists showcase what we can do. I do not for a moment believe I'm the only one that can do this. And more importantly, there are people who are far more flexible than I am that can do this on even taller vehicles. So we will see what happens. Dennis says, my boss always used to laugh at my jokes in the office, but stop laughing now that we're on video calls. She says my jokes aren't remotely funny. Love it. We had a frost here last night. I'm looking at some cold grass, which is funny because my neighbor cut his grass yesterday. He really likes keeping the grass short. And it's interesting because you get about halfway through the summer and you can compare. You look at my lawn, you look at his lawn, and mine just looks healthier. Grass is plants. Grass are plants. Grass is plants. How do you say that? Is grass is plural. Grass are plants. There we go. Wow. That's a sentence I've never said before. Good morning to you, Liz. Everybody do me a favor. Hit that thumbs up, that like, that heart, whatever you got going, where you are, wherever you're watching. Remember, we are on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. And the most conversation comes in through Facebook. So you can find the First Cut page on Facebook and we stream there. So today, I finish packing and load up the car and go to All In Weekend. We are ready. I've done a whole bunch of prep with Andrew. We've got a ton of stuff going, and I'm just super excited. There are people coming this year, as with last year, that I don't know. And that to me is one of the coolest things. The two coolest things are people who came last year and signed up right away to come back, and the people who that I have no idea who they are, and they signed up. Because the people who came last year obviously had an awesome time and they want to come back. And so that makes me really happy. And the people who have never been, that I don't even know, I know that they're coming entirely because of the message that we put out, not because they know me or any other reason like that. Not that I'm unhappy that anybody is coming. But, we tend to support our friends. And I have a lot of friends coming and they're supporting me. That means a great deal to me. So I'm very excited for that. But for Whistlekick to grow, we need to make new friends. And that's part of what this weekend is about. Liz says, woo woo, AIW2. That's right. And Stacy with one of the coolest autocorrects I've ever seen. Not, because Liz said, sorry, I'm late. And Stacy says, not late, refectory arrival time. And she means perfect. Stupid autocorrect. I love it. Slept poorly last night. I think I was so wired between my workout and a great meeting. We finished up our meeting about 9:15 that I had a hard time falling asleep. According to this smart ring thing, it took me nearly an hour to fall asleep. And so I got up at 5 and I was going to do all my stuff. And I just said, I want the extra hour of sleep. So I will be multitasking when I'm done here, doing a lot of my morning routine with movement and whatnot as I pack and I put things together. Fortunately, this is a really simple weekend. I pretty much need a martial arts uniform, some underwear, and the things I got to bring for all the people. Of course, I'll be bringing more than that, but that's the majority of it. So what did you do? What did you do for Thursday? Did you check out that episode? 609, if I've got the number right. Andrew and I talking about kicking. Did you have any thoughts? What complete coincidence that I rolled out the car kick challenge on the day we released an episode about kicking? Yes. In fact, hadn't even thought of that until now. And I'll spare you all the messages in between, but Stacy says it's never a duck. It's probably true. What else? What else can I tell you all? It's going to be a great weekend. I'm super excited. I'm going to come back tired and happy. Looking forward to the awesome food. The chef is bringing assistants this year. Andrew's killing it with all the things he's working on. I have to say, if you've ever put on an event, and this is where I'm going to get mildly sappy here for a moment. Most of you know Andrew. Most of you know Andrew personally. If you've ever put on an event with people, well, first off, if you've ever put on an event, you know how much detail goes into running a successful event. And I am continually surprised when I attend other events how little detail people put into it. And when I make suggestions like, well, what about this? They're like, okay, well, then don't complain to me later that you're not making money. I've been to a lot of events, and this is not pointing to anybody in particular. So if you put on an event, it takes a lot of work. If you've ever put on an event with someone, you know that if they do not hold up their end, it makes your job harder. It's actually easier to do it all yourself than to have someone who doesn't hold up their end. Andrew more than holds up his end. And we're at a point now, because we've worked together so many times on so many things, that half of our meetings are, oh, I was just going to write that down. Oh, yeah, I just did that. And it goes both directions. There's almost a Vulcan mind meld going on. There's a nerd reference for you. So shout out to him. I appreciate him. If you're coming this weekend, just know that it is not just me. It is in a huge part Andrew. And I'm excited for what we're teaching. Am I going to tell you? No, I'm not going to tell you what it is. But there are a couple of things that we've put together that I think are going to be super fun. And if all goes well, we're going to blow some minds, just like we did last year. We won't forget you, Stacy. Well, we've got jokes, so I think we're going to do jokes now. Thank you, as always, to Frank for all that you do for the show. Thank you to Josh for our theme song. Thank you to Denise for the audio. And here we are. We have the jokes for Fun Day Friday. What if I just did the show in this voice? Fun Day Friday. Oh, these way too small. All right, where are we? That's difficult to read. I know some of you are on your phone. Nope, that's not the right one. That's just me. How about this one? That's what I want. All right, so today is Arbor Day. That's about trees, for those of you who don't know that. Just saw two birds stuck together in a tree. I think they're Velcros. Opening strong. I like that. I need to get a job in trees. Maybe I could make branch manager. Why did the psychic carry a book to the top of a tree on the beach? To practice palm reading. Why wasn't the elf allowed to use the stepladder to decorate the Christmas tree? Because of elf and safety regulations. The fireman wouldn't come save my cat from a tree because it isn't an emergency. So I set the tree on fire. Two blondes are looking for a Christmas tree in the forest. After 2 hours of searching, one says, let's take one without Christmas ornaments. That's so good. Christmas trees are bad at sewing. They always drop their needles. Why do trees make bad detectives? They always get stumped. A lumberjack once told me he's cut down 27,572 trees. How do you know exactly how many? I inquired. Easy, he said. I keep a log. Why should you never trust trees? They're shady. Did you hear about the axe that could cut trees instantly? It's cutting edge technology. When the moon hits your knees and you mispronounce trees, sycamore. Sycamore. How would I say that? Sycamore. Yeah, we'll go with sycamore. Let me read it again. When the moon hits your knees and you mispronounce trees, sycamore. How do trees like their ice cream? In a pine cone. Why do birch trees dislike dogwood trees so much? They really hate their bark. How do trees access the internet? They log on. What's the scariest tree? Bamboo. Name the kind of tree you can hold in your hand. A palm tree. And lastly, Watson, which tree do we get lemons from? Sherlock, elementary, my dear Watson. Which tree do we get lemons from? Elementary. Elementary. Elementary? I'm not sure if I'm not getting it or if it's not good. I'm guessing I'm not getting it. Elementary. Maybe someone can explain that to me. Just saw two birds stuck together in a tree. I think they're Velcros. That was awesome. Well done, Frank. Thank you so much. Gad says, first one already had me LOL. Dennis says, they're shady. Brilliance, Frank Wood. And Stacy's explaining it to me. Instead of elementary, lemon tree. Got it. See, I was pretty sure it was me. And Dick's explaining. Everybody's explaining it. Gad says, oh, that one reminds me of a classic. What is green and you can sit on it? Kermit the Log. Big fan of the bad jokes. The dad jokes, the cheesy jokes, all the jokes. Velcro. Good stuff. Close the jokes. And we're going to go over here. I know Frank's got some questions. We're going to talk about All-In Weekend. Because that's pretty much all I'm thinking about right now. And we'll go to this one. What has been your favorite thing about past All-In Weekends? Well, this is the second one. So my favorite thing about last year was that it went really well and people had an awesome time. You know, we had 21 people attend. And if I'm remembering my numbers correctly, 12 or 13 people signed up in the exclusivity period. So one of the things that we promise is that if you come, you get essentially first right of refusal. We give you a couple weeks to sign up for the following year. Nobody else can take your spot because this is a limited attendance event. And I expect over time, as it develops more of a reputation and as we increase the quality of the food and add other things, you know, I've been very open. We're going to keep raising the price on this because as we raise the price, we can do more things with it. Will there come a time where maybe we can't get this facility? Yeah, but this facility is very inexpensive. And so we might have to shift some things around. So we're going to continue to grow this event as long as people are willing to pay more money. It's a very simple business model on this event, but it also means we need to raise the caliber of what we're doing. And so last year, for a very inexpensive price, what did we do? We did $200 for the first year. You got your room and all your food, which the food was awesome. It was genuinely awesome. And I think Andrew and I had 20 hours of training across 48 hours. So 20 hours of training, 36 hours when you add in sleep, add in the food. There was very little downtime. And that was by design. It's all in weekend. It's not half in weekend. It's not come hang out and do a little bit of training weekend. No, it's a weekend of training, but we're not just banging. We're not just clashing shins. It's not all physical training. In fact, it's more conceptual and mental and emotional. There is physical training. Once again, there's time on the schedule that is that's more intense. But the goal was to put together a weekend that made people feel fired up about training, about martial arts in general. And we did that last year. So that's my favorite thing, that the vision was realized. Dennis says the AIW location is epic. Stacy says it was effing awesome. Gad's adding a joke. What tree knows martial arts? A spar. I don't think we have those in North America, do we? Do we have spar trees? I've heard of a spar, but I don't know anything about them. At the very least, I don't think we have them in the Northeast. Next question. Two questions. What are you most looking forward to about this All-In Weekend? There are some changes, right? We've got more people coming this year. We sold out, but a couple people had to pull back because of various things. But we will have more people than last year. So I'm excited for that because more people, more energy. I'm excited to see Andrew and I working together again in this capacity. Here's something that I don't think he's going to mind sharing with you. I'm going to share it with you. And if I have to, I'll apologize. Andrew was really nervous going in last year. I think I've heard him say this publicly, which is why I wanted to do it. He was nervous going in last year. He was unsure that his ability to teach was where it needed to be for this event. Now, I'd worked with Andrew enough that I knew it wasn't going to be an issue. But he kind of had to just trust me on that. And he crushed it. But this year, we're not going in with him second guessing himself. We know the facility. We know the vibe we're going for. We have a signpost for where we were and where we're trying to go. We're going to advance this event even more. And we're taking risk isn't quite the right word, but we're playing some hunches on some of the content that we're going to bring to people, some of the training stuff that honestly, there's the big overarching concept that I want to bring through this weekend is something I have only worked with a little bit with other people. And the root concept actually goes back to the very first free training day. It was something that I experimented with and it went well. And I've continued to think about it. And I'm at a point now where I am so confident in this concept. It's something that is not taught, in my opinion, well at any martial arts school I've ever been part of. And we're going to spend a lot of time threading that through the weekend. So I'm excited about that. Stacy's agreeing with me. He did crush it and let me know. And it let me know so much more about him as a person. Yeah. Thank Kelly saying, have a wonderful time this weekend. Thank you, Kelly. We will miss you. Good recovery. Dennis says, Andrew was nervous because he cares so deeply about what we do and the people that Whistlekick serves. He and you, thank you, did an amazing job in providing an unforgettable martial arts experience. That was the goal. I continue to say, find me a weekend that's a better deal. Find me a weekend that has this caliber of training and your room and board and wonderful people in an exclusive setting for this price. Most of the time I've been to events. So here's a great example. Last weekend was a wonderful weekend. I had a lot of time, great training. Our event across the weekend has more training. And the price is dramatically different, right? Now it's limited and it carries a bunch of other things that are really different. I don't want you to think I'm comparing them and saying one is better, one is worse. But one of the core values at Whistlekick is everything we do should have a tremendous value. And I think that we are still so far away from a price that does not work for people. I genuinely believe that we will get to a point where this weekend, and maybe it becomes 2.5 days or 3 days, right? Maybe we extend that timing a little bit. I don't know yet, but maybe the price, I've seen other events. I've seen other 48-hour events have a 0 on their price, and they don't include food and they don't include where you're staying. I've seen people spending $3,000-$4,000. I've seen people fly in to spend $3,000 and $4,000 for similar events. And you could say, well, those events tend to have big names. They absolutely do. And I'm not opposed to bringing people in. We've talked about that. The economics aren't there yet. But just because it's a big name doesn't mean it's better training. Stacy says, did we mention the setting was absolutely beautiful? We did. So here's my thought for you this weekend. Because not all of you will be there with us, and that will be sad. The obvious thought, watch It'll be just over 2 weeks, about 2.5 weeks before we open up 2024. I've already got the date. I've already sent the deposit. We are more than a year in advance on this because we have to be, right? Because I'm not letting anybody take that weekend. But for everyone, there are some philosophies, some concepts, some learnings that come through being part of a weekend like this if you never have been. One, immersion. If you talk to anybody who wants to learn a foreign language or has learned a foreign language, they will tell you, when I went to that country and I spent 2 weeks there, I learned so much. It changes your mindset. When that's all you're doing, your mind starts to see things differently. And that's part of what we're doing with this weekend because we're training so much. We start training at 6:30. We finish training after dinner. There are breaks, but we're training all day for 2 days. No, all day Saturday, and then a lot of Friday and a lot of Sunday. That's number one. Number two, one of the things that we do, and this is core concept in Matic, this is core concept when I teach, you don't have to teach a lot of different things. Find what you're trying to get across to people and beat the snot out of it. Come at it from every different angle you can. If you want to learn how truly learn a form, take the first form you ever learned, for example. How well do you know it? You think you know it really well. Can you do it backwards? Can you do it mirrored? Can you do it with your eyes closed? Can you do it turning at a 45-degree angle in a square room? Can you do it outside? Can you do it with shoes? If the answer is yes, you probably know that form really well. Can you do it backwards and mirrored? The better you can do those things, the better you understand what's really going on in those movements. And you can apply that concept to everything. And it's not just martial arts. I use the word thread. There are concepts we're threading through the weekend, and I choose that word purposefully. And then I think the last thing is things don't have to be complicated to be effective and entertaining. One of the things that makes All In Weekend so awesome is the people. One of the things that I will become nervous about in the future as this event grows, as we start to bring in guest instructors, is what will happen to the culture. You know, let's say we put a big name on the roster, and maybe we advertise that. Maybe we don't, but let's say we did. Are there people who would come just for that, and then they would kind of not want to do the rest of training? Maybe, which means the first time we do it, we probably won't even announce that we're doing it. Are we bringing in special guest instructors this year? Probably not. I won't say no because things could change, but it is unlikely. So there we are. I'm going to go. I got stuff to pack. I got cars to load. I thank you for being here. I appreciate you. I appreciate you joining us. If you want to support, grab something. Grab this mug. Grab this mug. This mug is fun. Grab one of the new t-shirts at whistlekick.com. Grab that new dragon hoodie. We're selling them. They look great. I'm super pumped. And what else can I say? Hello, Mark. I think that's it. I'm just glad you're here. And I'm looking forward to seeing some of you in a few hours. The rest of you, I will see on Monday. Have a wonderful Friday. Have a wonderful weekend. I guess that's it. Peace. Oh, gotta hit the